An indefinite postponement, the chairperson of the inquiry saying that, in fact, they can't say how much time they'll need. What we do anticipate is that when the commission sits again, there'll be an outcome on this very latest application brought by the lawyers of this witness, who is understandably, who we understand, I beg your pardon, still going to testify in camera, if indeed that does go ahead. Kenny Mapanga is our senior reporter, live to us now from the Bridget Mabanda Justice College. And Kenny, I don't think we've seen anything like this since the commission started, right? One witness making two applications for postponement and some of those issues being ventilated on the go, as we've seen at the inquiry.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers once again. It seems that with this particular witness that was due to testify from 9:30 a.m. this morning, partially in camera, so that is just with their audio and no face and no name, it seems that from his evidence, what is the bone of contention here are these WhatsApp exchanges that form part of the evidence and what those WhatsApp exchanges will reveal. We already know that this witness was touched on during phase one of the testimony, which is that evidence that saw him in that CCTV footage at the home of alleged cartel member Katiso Katie Mulefe. He visits that home quite briefly in that state vehicle and then of course leaves with a bag shortly thereafter. And of course questions began to swirl as to what was in that bag and what was that meeting about. Of course, we know what is being implied in the context of these alleged cartel members, but essentially that evidence would have gotten to the bottom of that as well. But it seems that's not the bone of contention here, or the premise upon which this particular witness doesn't want to further incriminate himself by answering questions. It is all about these WhatsApp exchanges and what those WhatsApp exchanges may reveal in the context not only of this alleged criminal syndicate, but this particular witness's alleged role. Now, it's not known as to what the evidence leader is going to place before the commission, but it seems that the lawyers and the witness themselves are anticipating that it's going to be information that is going to incriminate him. So now you have this move for a postponement, and now you also have a high court application being brought by this particular witness as well, where they are also seeking an interim interdict pending the finalization of their issues, and they're also trying to interdict the commission from actually displaying those WhatsApp messages until their matter is resolved before the courts. You may remember that the presidency has already revealed in a statement that the interim report of the Madlanga Commission, which was not made public, makes referrals for certain high-ranking SABC officials to be sent for further investigation. And of course, a task team was informed regarding that. And it seems that that is also coming up as a basis to, I guess, support this move for these hearings to be postponed, or if they continue, that this particular witness does not intend to participate in the manner that one would expect. But then, of course, that creates another legal hurdle, because the Commissions Act actually doesn't allow a witness to take the position that should they be asked questions, they are not going to answer those particular questions. So there's a lot of legal hurdles to juggle as the Commission's bench now goes back to discuss these arguments and formulate an outcome, because the work of the Madlanga Commission needs to continue. But we're seeing that this urgent bid that directly impacts the evidence that is supposed to be led this week is set to be heard on the 10th of November, and it seeks an interdict pending Part B, similar to that of Karim's bid. But as I've stated, the Commission has to continue with their work. So it's going to be a balance as to whether do they proceed with the evidence and the witness stays in that remote location and listens but doesn't answer. But then in the same breath of the Commission's bench has questions that they seek clarity on. Does he answer, or does he provide a no comment, evasive response? It's going to be difficult juggling that kind of testimony. Or do they wait until the 10th of February, when this matter is set to be heard in the High Courts, before they then conclude the evidence of this particular witness? Whatever the conclusion is, Ayanda, it's going to set a bit of a precedent here in the Madlanga Commission with respect to these phase two implicated persons that are set to appear before the Commission, because you're now going to open the floodgates, if I could put it that way, for implicated persons who have any kind of objection to come, move for postponements if they don't receive any relief, then turn to the High Courts and essentially derail the entire process, because this is the portion in which you're supposed to schedule those witnesses that are going to respond to those allegations that were placed in Phase 1. Phase 1 was smooth because those were witnesses that came voluntarily, but you're now in the realm of those witnesses that need to be subpoenaed to come to these hearings and give their version of events. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. In addition to that, the Karim matter and how that informs the rest of the Phase 2 witnesses that are expected to come and how they will approach the Commission and what their posture will be based on how these issues are determined today.
Absolutely. Well, Kenny Mapanga, let's see how it all goes. Kenny's live to us from the Bridget Mabanda Justice College, where there's been an adjournment as soon as we spot the commissioners once again, who I anticipate will give a ruling on today's latest application for postponement. We'll certainly take you there live.